Welcome to Scaling Your Healthy Food Product podcast, where we believe the process of scaling better for you product doesn't have to be lonely, hard, or complicated, but following simple steps to prepare your product to scale correctly will set you up to succeed. If that is you, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Jacinta Kimboy. Let's get started, everybody. This being episode 20, I have a special surprise for my listeners. So listen to the end to find out what the surprise is. This week's topic, we're talking about from kitchen to scale, 3 reasons to explore co-manufacturing sooner than you think. I wanted to give you 3 more reasons for you to start thinking about co-manufacturing and why you should be thinking about co-manufacturing. Co-manufacturing will keep coming up because this is where you grow your business if you're not going to do the manufacturing yourself. So I wanted to explore this some more because I've been talking to food founders and a lot of them started in commercial kitchen. And if you listen to the episode where the 8 founders were sharing the one thing that they wished they knew, one of the thing that came up too was they wish that they had looked at scaling sooner rather than later because the investment that they had to put in the commercial kitchen ended up being too much. And in the end, they still had to move away from there anyway because they were growing and they just couldn't go beyond they couldn't grow beyond what they were growing at the time, just being at the commercial kitchen. And the only other logical step that they had to take was to go to a manufacturing facility. So either thinking about like doing it themselves or going to a co-manufacturing. So that's why I wanted to bring this back, because I want to give you 3 more reasons why you should consider this sooner, because there's actually reasons, and these are the reasons that we're going to be talking about. Is one of the reasons is it will save you money right from the beginning. My position and where I come in is I help food founders and food entrepreneurs navigate the most critical stage of growth, preparing your recipe to scale profitably. So profitably, that's the word. I would like you to be, my goal is to make you profitable from the beginning. And that's why I want to feed you with all the tips that you need to be able to be profitable and to be able to grow. Because remember, my mission is to see a lot of the healthy, the better for you products in the stores, like, so where we're contributing to the growth of the next generation, and we're all becoming healthy. And if we have more options, then we have the choices to be able to do that. So one of the reasons is you save money right from the beginning. Why I'm saying that is, the thing is, it will prevent you from investing in commercial kitchen upgrades, for example, because let's say you moved from your kitchen and you're in a commercial kitchen, or you went straight to a commercial kitchen and you start to invest in equipments there, or whoever you're working with, or the owner or the management of the commercial kitchen, they start to invest just based on what you need and based on what your needs are, and also being able to maximize like your growth potential. So if you can prevent the investing of the kitchen, like if you need to, like if it's not a lot of money in the beginning, then that's okay. But if this is a thing where when you go in, you look at the facility and what they have and what you need for your product, because some products are special, and even some products are innovative, and they're different. They don't fit in like a regular commercial kitchen, and you need to do something extra to be able to produce that product. So it will save you the money from the beginning, just because you won't have to invest in the commercial kitchen upgrades. And then the other thing is the growth potential that you have. And this is one of the things that I talked about in the first few episodes. Go back and listen to it. Is you've already explored the potential of your product, and you've already explored how the product can grow, how your product can grow. You've seen the market, you've done the market research, and you see how your product has the potential. And either way, like healthy products right now, healthy products are growing, and that's the growing trend that we're seeing right now. people are going for healthier products, and it just didn't start now. Like post COVID, that has been the trend. Like healthy products are growing because people are not going for the products that they were used to. People are now looking for products that have benefits for their health. I would, as a consumer, that's what I do. I look for products that contribute to the well-being of myself and my family. So just as a consumer, that's what I do. So most consumers are that, and the growing potential. So if your product, just as being a better for you, you do have the potential, and there's a potential for you to grow. And the other thing is, as you talk to the co-manufacturers, they also look at your, they evaluate your product, and they evaluate your company to see the potential, the growth potential that you bring in. So when you see a co-manufacturer saying, I will take you on, is because they've already looked at the potential growth for your business, for you to be able to, and this is something that they want to bring you in because they see a potential. And the other thing that I recently learned is, for a co-manufacturer, it actually takes them like 3 years for them to make up, like for them to pay off the money, to be profitable, to make profit out of your business when you go to a co-manufacturer. So there's, you don't be shy to go. Don't see that as something that you need to look at, like once you've made a certain amount of money. You can look at it from the beginning, because at the end of the day, you have nothing to lose. If it's going to save you money from the beginning, why not, right? So there you go. So that's your first one. Okay, so the second one, this will solve your ingredient sourcing challenge or even a nightmare. Some people go through a lot of challenges when you're trying to source raw materials. And it goes back again to first one, which it saves you money, because some suppliers, and I interact with several suppliers, and some of them are willing to work with like small businesses because they want to encourage you and they want to see you grow. They want to see you succeed. But in some cases, for some raw materials, just based on how they have to order them, they have to order them in truckloads, and depending on how much, what is their minimum quality order from their manufacturer, some of them they can't really accommodate like your low quantities. But if you go right to a co-manufacturing facility, they already have those suppliers, they already have those ingredients, and you don't have to go to the supplier now and look for it. This is a thing that they will solve for you. They've already sourced those ingredients, and they already have those raw materials, and you don't have to do the extra step looking for those ingredients, unless if you have like one special ingredient or two that are special that they don't really carry. You could talk to them, and maybe that's something that they could bring in. But if this is like a special raw material that is specific to your product, then you would have to source like those ones. But those ones are just like one off, and most of them, they'll be able to do that for you. So because they already have, this is the thing, like the manufacturers already have their suppliers, they already have their raw materials. So adding a few more kilograms, adding a few more to what they're ordering actually gives them an advantage, because the more you order, the less the cost of the raw material becomes per kilo. So you're increasing to them. Maybe at the beginning, you're not increasing by such a higher quantities, but as you grow, then you're going to keep adding, and you'll also notice that the cost of your product, because you're going to be technically buying from them, it will reduce as you grow. So that being the second reason. And the other thing is, so okay, so you don't have to, the one solution that they're solving for you is they already have suppliers, and you don't have to go looking for them. The other thing is, if you started in your kitchen, that's okay. But if you start in your kitchen, these are raw materials that you go to the store and buy. And if you're looking for bulk, you could probably buy from Costco or Bulk Barn, or wherever you would get like, or the superstore, wherever you get like those large quantities of flours and the different oils, whatever you're using in your product. The other step, from you not having to worry about the supplier, the other step to it is, you don't really have to worry so much or do that, like the 3 steps of scaling your recipe, improving your recipe, or getting your recipe to be able to be produced in the co-manufacturing to meet your standards, to like your benchmark, the gold standard of your product, of your raw material of your product that you already have, to be able to match. Because this is one of the things that you would go through, like from your kitchen you have to scale it to match, because now you're increasing batches to the commercial kitchen. Then from the commercial kitchen, you also have to work your recipe to be able to match like the co-manufacturing. And where the difference usually comes is the difference in raw materials and the processing. If you've listened to the previous episodes, you will notice that. If not, go back and listen to that. There's a difference in change when you increase production, when you increase like the quantities and the amount of batching, just because of the processing is going to be different when you're moving from one facility to the next. The equipment and the raw materials can be different that way. So you kind of save yourself like the two-step. Like you save yourself from scaling your product twice. So you're saving yourself that amount of money and the energy that would go into you scaling your recipe from, let's say, from the kitchen to commercial and commercial to manufacturing. So if you go right away from your kitchen to co-manufacturing, especially if you've done all the market research and you know where you need to be in your product, and even the growth, like let's say from the beginning you already have a retail store that is interested in your product from the get-go. Remember, starting local, go listen to that episode too. Then you don't have to do a lot of marketing. You already have somebody that is interested in your product from the beginning. So then it will save you that one step from you being able to work your product and to be able to make it in such a way that it transitions well from where you're used to now the co-manufacturing. So it kind of saves you like the R&D time there too. It saves you your time and it saves you the runaround. The second one, I just wanted to add that to the ingredient, saving you from the ingredient sourcing challenge. And in some cases, in some people, it's usually a nightmare for them. And then the third one is your product wouldn't have to go through a lot of changes, and that can confuse your customer or potentially lose them. And that also adds to what I was talking about, because when you go through a lot of changes, your product will tend to change. And we notice that a lot if you're coming from like a commercial kitchen, or even your kitchen, for example. You're coming from your kitchen to the co-manufacturing facility. The KitchenAid that you have at home it's not as powerful as the mixers that are in the facility. Those ones are professional, they are large scale, and they have higher RPMs, and they can mix for such high speeds. And even the lowest speed could not match like your highest speed in the KitchenAid, or even like a mixer that you have in the commercial kitchen. It would not match. Some of them, they are way higher than what you have in your co-manufacturing. And in some cases, like let's say if it's an oatmeal cookie, and this is something that I've seen, an oatmeal cookie, it was being produced in like a small commercial kitchen, and the mixers are not that powerful. And then you get to see like some oats in your cookie, when like the cookie is kind of, it's not like too soft. Like it's not, when you look at the cookie, you can still see some oat flakes in the cookie, which is okay. And that also played to like, now it kind of gives the product its characteristics. When the customer is looking for the product, that's what they're looking for, and that's what they're used to, because that's what you've been producing your product. But now when you move to a co-manufacturing facility, just because of the mixing and the times and the speeds, it tends to break your oats, especially let's say if they were like oat like quick oats, then it would like break it apart, work it so much that it's you don't see, if you used to see like a whole oat when you did in a commercial kitchen, now when you go to a manufacturing facility, you kind of see like maybe half an oat, because of the process, because you're trying to match the processing. So this one, the highest speed in the commercial kitchen is not so much closer to the low speed in the manufacturing facility. But you know what, you could still work it out and still find the right way by just changing the raw materials. And this is where I come in, because in some cases, maybe you don't have the experience to figure out which one to go with to be able to match your product. So that's what I'm saying. It will save you that step. And also, let's say you're in a crunch and you need to deliver, and some cases that's actually what I've seen in most cases when food founders and the food entrepreneurs are coming to a co-manufacturing, it's because they've grown beyond um, beyond their fill rate, like what they need to provide to their customers. And in some cases, they don't have a lot of time to be able to deliver. And in this case, it's like you're scrambling to deliver. We've scrambled to deliver to like Costco and Walmart, and you tend to see like some change in your product. Like it's not the same as what you presented to your client, to the retail store. And in some cases, some consumers might not really be offended by the product change, but some will be offended and they'll just buy once and they wouldn't buy again. They wouldn't be repeat customers. So you could see some less in your sales, but in some ways you don't really have a choice. Like that just works out. You didn't have enough time to do the R&D work and scale properly to be able to get the right product and everything. You just needed to fill your retail store because they're not going to wait. They've told you they need to receive it in the end of May, and you have to deliver end of May. So it's always, there's always like some rushing that you have to do, and in most cases the R&D work in that sense will suffer a bit. So this way it would save you that, and your customer wouldn't have to worry so much about it being different, and you worrying about it being different, or your consumer finding out that it's different from what they were used to. Some consumers won't really care much about that. I know I don't worry much about, but some are very specific and they're very they want the product a certain way they're used to, and you don't want to change your product to be like noticeable to your customer. So that's the third one. So I wanted to give you those reasons so you could think about it and evaluate where you are in your business, and also just to give you another 3 reasons for you to think about approaching co-manufacturers sooner than you plan to, because the sooner you do it, the more you can iron out the kinks and iron out the things that could give you problems as time goes by, because you're growing, your business is growing, people are loving your products, and you're going to grow. So just the planning, and just to give you something to think about as you're growing. So there you go. So the 3 ones is it saves you money right from the beginning. It will solve like your ingredient sourcing challenge that you usually have, most small businesses go through. And then your product won't have to go through a lot of changes that could potentially be a risk and could potentially be offensive to your consumer, and even you losing your consumers. All right, so there you go for the surprise, because this episode is episode 20. Leave your comment on wherever you listen to, whether Spotify or Apple, and I'm going to be choosing one of the food entrepreneurs there, and you will be getting 1 hour of free consultation with me. So I'm excited about that. All right, until next time, keep scaling your food business.